I'm going to go for about maybe 8 minutes here, so I'm going to try to time myself. Guys, so good to have you here with me. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and I'm getting ready for the day. I have clients and all of that jazz coming up. And so you have this beautiful view of the ceiling as I'm getting my makeup on. We'll do some live videos where I'm on here later today out by the beach. It was so foggy this morning when I woke up, and now it's all cleared out and it's gorgeous, and it's going to be a great Labor Day weekend. All right, here's the message. I was getting ready and I was just thinking, this is so funny to me because I've been paying attention to this. Well, I think we all have for years. Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina Jolie. Ah, a combustible love triangle for the ages, right? Well, what we have seen happen, for those of you that don't know, just a quick rundown, is Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt used to be together and they were married at the height of their popularity, at the height of her popularity on Friends, and at the height of his popularity. And in any case, they were married. And then Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie worked on a movie together called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and the chemistry in that movie was scintillating. I mean, it just bounced off the screen, and it bounced off the screen because in real life it was bouncing off. They were bouncing off of each other, which is fine, guys. Listen, I want to say something. We've all been a karmic partner to somebody. We've all been a toxic lesson or something that broke someone's heart. We all have had that. Everybody plays a fool. Everybody gets a chance down that road. But what I love is that as I've grown, I've really learned this energy regarding these relationships. The thing that happened here that is so interesting to see is that Brad and Angelina actually had a mission. They were supposed to have these children. They were supposed to do that. It was said that Jennifer was very concerned with her career and was not ready to have children. And as we see, Jennifer has not had any children. But it was in Brad's chart and his destiny and his Akashic records, as well as Angelina, to bring children in. Sometimes when we get separated from someone we think is our soulmate or our person, they go off with another person and we're like, what's happening? They had an assignment and mission just like you have an assignment and mission with somebody else. But here's the thing. If you were really supposed to be with that person, yes, twin flames, all that jazz, you can end up gravitating back towards one another. I more want to talk about the karmic dynamic here, though, because what we saw is that Brad needed to be wild. He was a Sagittarius. He is a Sagittarius. Angelina is a Gemini, I do believe. I do not know exactly what Aniston is. But what I will say is that he needed to have that experience. He needed to be wild and free. Sagittarian energy deals with philosophy, travel, exploration. So he needed that moment. He needed to have his fix. He needed to have the crazy sex he had with her. He needed to have all of those experiences. Not to say that he didn't have beautiful sex or happy experiences with Jennifer, but there was something that his soul needed for evolution. Now, in the end, what we saw was this incredibly crushing situation where they became enemies, because anytime someone is a karmic soulmate, it will always end as enemies, no matter how hot, sexy, magical, or what children sew them together. Now, here's an interesting thing. We saw them at a red carpet event recently, and they did some table reads that we were all kind of enamored with over the pandemic because the chemistry is still palpable between Jennifer and Brad. But he had to go around a few karmic trips around the sun with Angelina and find out exactly who she was and wasn't. I know that Jennifer was devastated because I've been Jennifer. I know what it is to be devastated when you think you have someone that's loyal, that is by your side, and then they leave you for something that seems exciting and fun, and you think, wait a second, I thought we had excitement and fun. But that was not the excitement and fun. Brad has learned some of the hardest, most soul crushing lessons of his life with his karmic partner, Angelina Jolie. He couldn't have done it with Jennifer. Jennifer loved him too much and was too sweet. As we know, what is Jennifer considered? America's sweetheart. Does that mean she doesn't have a bitchy side? Of course she doesn't. I promise you, Angelina bought it out of her when she took her man right out the box under her padlock, okay? There's a little rap song about that. I'll take your man right out the box and put him under my padlock. That's what Angelina thought. Angelina also is ritualistic. I really should have done a longer video, guys. I have clients here in a few minutes, but I just was on my heart. When she was dating Billy Bob Thornton, who she's mildly related to, or her, no, her brother, that was rumored, and then Billy Bob Thornton, she is not related to, but they were wearing blood vials and various things like that. Angelina is ritualistic. She's very witchy. It is what it is. I actually enjoy her acting and enjoy her persona and whatever else, but I know that she is dark and I know that she has a lot of issues, and Brad needed to go through that. What it reminds me of is in Legends of the Fall, there's a moment where Brad loses himself after someone he loves is killed, and he kind of loses himself in a drunken stupor. Brad went through that in a reverse engineering way with his relationship with Angelina Jolie. And now we see that they're smearing each other in the press back and forth. Recently, a video came out, not a video, but information that Angelina leaked herself regarding the fact that Brad knew about Harvey Weinstein and still wanted her to work with him, when we'd heard stories in the past that he defended her against him and fought him and whatever. The narrative has changed. I don't know. Maybe both things are true. I'm sure on some level they are, but here's the deal. It's happening because Angelina feels threatened. Why does she feel threatened? Because Brad has reconciled with Jennifer. This is what no karmic ever thinks, is that the person still has a longing. And Brad is charming, and so is Jennifer. And we saw that like lingering hand touch at one of those award shows where they just, we could tell like if they're not sleeping together by the end of the night, then we're not watching this TV. Meaning it was so palpable, right? That will drive any woman crazy, but karmics are not used to that. So when you're in the karmic position of a partnership, you think, I got him. They love me. The sex is crazy. Everything's amazing. They'll never want to go back. Well, the thing is, the whole time Brad was longing to go back to what was comfort and home. What he once perceived as boring, what he once had lost interest in, what he once had distanced himself from and excused and had terrible bad behavior, breaking Jennifer Aniston's heart in the first place many years ago, he longed for the comfort of. He now saw that as stability, as consistency, as honesty, as loyalty, all the things he was no longer finding, and truthfully were never there in his karmic partner. Excitement was in his karmic partner and hard lessons that crushed his soul. But in the end, he found his way back home. For those of you that believe in the twin flame journey, this is possible for many of us. If you're dealing with someone who's an absolute narcissist, Brad maybe not a narcissist. Obviously, Brad is a good guy in his own way. And it is said of as much regarding his peers in Hollywood and just people that interact with him. To be as good looking as he is, it's amazing that he's still grounded. But him and Jennifer's reconciliation has triggered Angelina because let me tell you why. Here's how karma happens. Shiloh is now spending time with Jennifer, and I don't know that she's calling her mom and all the rest of it, guys. Don't believe everything you read, but what we do know is that we've seen pictures of Shiloh and Jennifer and Ben and Ben, excuse me, Ben Affleck. I'm thinking of another Jennifer. Shiloh, Jen, and Brad together and whatnot. And can you imagine the mother's fury that her child now feels like the ex is wonderful and that they always, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine that? If you were in Angelina's position, you might be triggered by that too. So now the smear king campaign kicks up, which is precisely what will happen in that karmic dynamic. So that was just a quick little chat regarding those guys because it was on my brain. Some of us have been in that situation. All of us at some point in our life will be in that triangulated situation, and or we've been the karmic partner. We've been Angelina Jolie, maybe we've been Brad Pitt, maybe we've been Jennifer. I'm curious to hear your comments below. Have you been any of these people? Can you relate to what that is? I just wanted to point out that it always happens that way, and then we kill ourselves over it, like, oh, how did they do this? But look at where he is now, exactly where he not should have been the whole time, because I don't think he should have been there the whole time. I think he had to grow and go and learn some lessons, but I think he now realizes, oh, I get it. I see Jennifer's virtue because now he has contrasted and compared. We create from contrast. What he thought he was missing, he definitely got in Angelina. And then he realized that that was not his speed or his lane at all. It took him a while, but he found his way back home. We always do. All right, guys. So good to share some energy with you. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.